Good evening, friends. Good morning, good evening, wherever we are in the world. I welcome you all to this fourth speaker series of Rotarians on the internet. At the outset, I would like to welcome our today's guest speaker, PRID Venki Welcome. And friends, today I would just like to say a few words about Roti before handing over to our program committee chair Kailash ji for continuing the proceedings. Rotarians on the Internet is a fellowship which has been operating since 97-98. Mm, It was brought in to promote Rotarians to get through on the internet. In fact, Roti was one of the fellowship groups which was also instrumental in supporting Rotary to come online. Because prior to that, as we all know, you were physical. So Roti was instrumental and they were one of the key factors to promote Rotary to be online, as they were being invited by the then president, millennial president of Rotary International. Today we have got members from around 106 countries, more than 3,000 members. Our membership is complimentary. We are not charging anything. We still welcome everybody. Those who wish to join, please go to www.rotifellowship.org and be a member. You are most welcome. Also get in your friends. That's something about Roti. And now I would like to hand it over to Kailash ji for further proceedings.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman Vijay Kevalamani. So from here on, I guess we should welcome our guest speaker for the day. Very dynamic, very active Rotarian, and a leader of his own kind, past RI director, and trustee-elect, A.S. Venkatesh. Friends, it's my proud privilege to introduce him because I've been a governor when he was a director. He was my director. Venki sir, as we call him, Venki, is an engineering graduate from IIT Madras, and he's got a master's in business administration from IIM Ahmedabad. Both these institutions are the top class institutions for technology and management. It's a very unique distinction that he holds IIT Madras and IIM Ahmedabad. Venki entered in the business of civil construction at the age of 23 and is currently heading an organization called Popular Group, employing over 1,400 people. A member of Rotary Club of Chennai Mambalam, he was its president in 2001-2002 and district governor of Rotary International District 3230 in 2007 and 8. He was Rotary coordinator for the period of 2010-2013 for Zone 5, covering South India, Sri Lanka, and Maldives. He has been a trainer for all DGEs at International Assembly for 2 years, as well as a trainer for all coordinators for 3 years from 2014 to 2017. He served as a Rotary International Director for the period of 21 to 23, and he was also treasurer of Rotary International for 2022 and 2023. He served as a moderator for International Assembly in 2025, the first Indian ever to be so invited. He has been now appointed to serve as a trustee of Rotary Foundation for the period 2026 to 2030. He is a level 3 major donor to the Rotary Foundation, and all his family members are Paul Harris Fellows. He likes playing bridge and he loves traveling. He is married to Rotarian past President Vinita, also an alumnus of IIM Ahmedabad, and this wonderful couple have 2 daughters. So with this brief introduction, I would invite our guest speaker for the day, Venki sir to have his address. Venki sir, over to you.
Uh, Thank you, Kailash. Uh, I don't know, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's a different kind of audience. I don't know how to greet. All I can say is, okay, good day. uh, First, let me thank Kailash for inviting me to address this pioneering group. I wouldn't say it's any other fellowship group. It's very different. So much so that there's one fellowship group which has taught Rotary International a lot of things. Whereas others take from RI, whereas this group has taught RI what to do, how to handle a lot of things, and more so in recent past when we had the pandemic, the entire RI converted to Roti. So it was not just a Rotarians on the internet. The entire Rotary International was on the internet for a long period. This is a pioneering group. Hats off to each one of you and Chair Vijay Keval Ramani. I mean, you are doing a great job of getting this people from. I just heard the number of countries from where you have members. That's amazing. I mean, to have that kind of a group of people with a common passion, a common interest, and to handle that group is a fantastic job. And many congratulations to everyone. And let me once again thank Kailash, my good friend Kailash, for inviting me. And today, Kailash had asked me to talk on the Rotary Foundation of Force for Good. So I don't know if you have also been told that I'm going to talk on the same topic. If not, I'm telling you that I'm going to talk on that topic. So there is no, so all of us are on the same page. Lest you wonder why I'm talking whatever I'm talking. See, Rotary Foundation, of course, as most of us are, I'm also very passionate about the Rotary Foundation uh, because of the good kind of change it brings about in several communities around us. Several communities, several lives have changed, several communities have changed. A whole lot of benefits have accrued over the years. So I'm quite fond of Rotary Foundation and the impact it has on our communities. But when I was asked to talk on this topic of TRF being a force for good, I started thinking a little more, not along the lines that I've always thought about Rotary Foundation, but it's in a tangential ways of understanding what this TRF is. So I try to analyze when would something be a force. It's a body which does good, but when do you say it's a force for good, which means something more than what a normal activity would be, normal body would be. So I was trying to recall almost 2 decades ago when the coast of India where I come from, when we had tsunami. So to a normal eye, it looks like a wave, but it's not a normal wave. Tsunami, it looks like a wave, but it's much more forceful, much larger, much more impactful compared to a normal wave. So how does that happen? When does a wave become a tsunami? When not one wave, several waves simultaneously gather and it becomes a force. Same way, let's say we look at some areas we have seen landslides on a mountain slope. We have landslides. When the slide at the topmost point of the mountain where it starts, it is just probably one rock that is sliding down. But as it gathers momentum, it takes in a few more rocks along the way, and by the time it reaches the plains, it's a landslide. I mean, huge amount of land comes rolling down the slopes. So, which both these things gave me an idea that why do we call Rotary Foundation a force for good? It's not because of the good deed or good act of one person, but a good act of one person multiplied by 1.2 million good acts, good people. So the force is because of the numbers. It's not about just one person's thought, but the multiplying factor of 1.2 million members, that is what makes it a force. So, which means there has to be a thought to do good. Then it gets multiplied at a club level, at a zone level, at a country level, and internationally. Then it becomes a force for good, the way it happened with polio. But when I started thinking a little more about how does it start? Where does it start? And if you ask me where a tsunami starts, I know it's deep in the ocean. Ask me where a landslide starts, I know it's the top of a mountain. So where does the force for good in Rotary Foundation, where does it start? What is the starting point for this? So I was thinking of what I studied long ago, a story which I'm fond of sharing with several people, because it's quite pertinent to what we talk about. It's about toothpaste. It's about a toothpaste. Some of you may wonder, what has toothpaste got to do with the Rotary Foundation? But let me come to that in a while. Um, long back, about 110 years ago, in the United States, there was a survey conducted to find out how many people actually brush their teeth every morning. It actually it's a fact. All of you are on the internet, you can probably check out this fact as well. There was a survey conducted and they found 16% of Americans brush their teeth every day in 110 years ago. So all the toothpaste companies thought, oh wow, here is a great opportunity for us to increase our sales. The 84% of the population is not brushing today. If only we can get them to brush their teeth, imagine the volume of toothpaste we can sell. So they started advertising, they started promoting it, they got the Hollywood stars. I mean, everything happened and slowly people started using toothpaste. 10 years later, they conducted the same, nine years later, they conducted the same survey once again in the United States. And this time, to their surprise, or no, I wouldn't say surprise, they were quite happy to note that 64% of them had started using toothpaste by then. From 16%, paltry 16%, in a 9-year period, that had grown to 64% of the population brushing their teeth every day with toothpaste. You would normally think that every toothpaste company should be very happy with this. Fourfold increase, 400% increase. So it's a huge growth. But as it turned out, a majority of the new toothpaste users were using Pepsodent. A majority of them were using Pepsodent, not the other brands. There were a few other brands as well. So some of the other brands got a little worried. So they conducted a market research. So they went door to door and found out, what do you use? When they say we use Pepsodent, they asked them, okay, why do you use Pepsodent? So many of them said, we do not know why we use Pepsodent, but all we can tell you is that the days we don't use Pepsodent, we don't feel clean. We don't feel clean. But we don't know why we use, but when I don't use, I don't feel clean. So immediately Colgate thought that probably Pepsodent is adding some ingredient which Colgate is not adding. So they went to the laboratory, analyzed the chemical composition of both these toothpastes, their own brand and Pepsodent as well. And much to their relief, they actually found that Pepsodent was using two ingredients which Colgate is not using, was not using, they use now. Those two ingredients were citric acid and mint oil. Citric acid and mint oil. Now comes, I don't know how many of you are dentists or anything to do with oral hygiene here in the group. But let me tell you, neither citric acid nor mint oil have anything to do with cleaning your teeth or keeping your gums strong or nothing of protecting your enamel, nothing at all. Nothing at all. But what these two ingredients did was they were astringents, which meant that when you brush your teeth, it gives you that burning sensation in the inside of your mouth. That kind of burning sensation you can feel inside. So when they don't use the toothpaste, they don't get the burning sensations. When they get the burning sensation, they feel, oh, now I'm clean. There's something that has happened inside my mouth. So this is, to cut a long story short. So after that, of course, all toothpaste started using citric acid, mint oil. Today, every toothpaste worth its name uses that as one of their ingredients. But that apart, that from a story point of view, there ends the story. But the lesson that as a Rotarian that I learned from that was that if you want to do good, you start with feeling good. Feeling good comes first, doing good comes later, which means most of us will have to focus on how to make somebody feel good about the membership, about the foundation, the projects, what do they have to first feel good. Then they will themselves start doing good. So that's a big lesson I learned from this marketing story. So how do we make people feel good? So why did polio succeed? Because people felt good that we are eradicating a vaccine preventable disease from the face of the earth. We are on a big job. Made them feel good, made them feel important. Then everybody started joining in. It became a tsunami. It became a force. So everything starts with how good you feel. Even foundation, if we have to make an impact in the community, we need to make sure every Rotarian should feel good about his membership, about the job that foundation does, about the work we do in the world. So I started thinking again. Now, thanks to Kailash, he made me think a lot on this because the moment he gave a topic which was unusual, I started thinking and analyzing this topic as we went along. So I said, first thing I said, okay, now if it has got to be a force, we have to ensure that everybody feels good about Rotary. That's the first part. Second question I asked myself, how do I make people feel good? It's not magic. I can't tell them, okay, guys, now let's feel good. It doesn't work that way. So there has got to be something that makes people feel good. So again, I went back to the lessons I've learned as a student, and another incident that caught my attention, and completely unrelated to Rotary on the surface, but there are a lot more meanings that I could get from that. That was about another marketing story. Very, very interesting. On the surface, you would not probably think it's related to Rotary, but very interesting story. This was about the confectionery manufacturer Betty Crocker. I'm sure many of you would have heard of this name, Betty Crocker, who sells a lot of confectionery products in the United States and maybe in several other countries as well. So in the early 1950s, that's about 75 years ago, Betty Crocker launched a cake mix. They launched a cake mix. All you had to do was add water to it, put it in the oven, the cake is ready. And the cake tasted delicious. I mean, better than what anybody would normally be able to make at home. So Betty Crocker thought that they had a huge winner on their hands, a path-breaking product for the first time in the market, the ready-made cake mix that all you needed to do was add water and put it in the oven. And your cake is ready. But again, much to the disappointment, this product did not sell. It didn't move from the shelves of the supermarkets and the grocery stores and wherever they had placed it. This product did not move as much as they thought it would. They were perplexed and they had a big meeting inside the company and to figure out why aren't we selling this product. They were quite disappointed. They had put a lot of money into developing this product, first of its kind. And one bright person in the company board said, I want to suggest something. And they said, okay, what is it? He said, let's remove the dried egg that we have added to this product. Not that he was a vegetarian or anything of that sort. Let's remove the dried egg that we added to this cake mix cake and sell them. Only thing now, the user manual or whatever the directions for use would say that take this powder, take an egg, crack that egg, mix that egg with this powder, and then you add water and bake it. And now magically they started selling the same product after removing an ingredient which is a very essential part of the product. When that was added, it did not sell. When that was removed, it started selling. So you might have probably guessed by now what happened in the marketplace. It was that when it was a ready-made cake mix and people had to just add water to bake it, nobody felt they were making a cake. So when the cake was ready, everybody, oh, is this a Betty Crocker cake? Nobody said it's so-and-so's cake. But later, second time, when the person in the house, let's say the lady in the house for whoever was making that cake, when they added the egg themselves, mixed it nicely, and then put it in the oven, they felt they have made the cake. It's no more Betty Crocker's cake. When it was served at the table, it is, oh, it's my cake. All they did was, instead earlier, the egg was added before by Betty Crocker. This time egg was added by them. That's all. The only difference was that. But it made a huge difference in the way people looked at it. So first time it was Betty Crocker's cake. They were not happy. They were not satisfied. They were not feeling a sense of ownership. They'd never felt it was my cake. But next time when they added the egg themselves, that is the only ingredient they added was egg. Beat an egg and crack an egg and add to it. Now it became their cake. It started selling. So again, a lesson that I learned, which I'm using in Rotary after I've learned that lesson, how can we make people believe it is their organization? How can we make people have a sense of ownership? It's not a Rotary club that I'm a member of. It is my club, and I'm going to my club. Not some club where I'm going as a member, but I am a owner of that club. I'm a stakeholder. I'm a owner of that club. That is the feeling that we need to impart to make sure, as I said earlier, to make sure they start feeling good. They start feeling good. So feeling good comes with a sense of ownership, a sense of belonging, sense of being a stakeholder, the buy-in into this. As somebody who added egg to Betty Crocker and cake mix, it felt, oh, it's my cake. Same way, people have to have a hands-on experience of playing a part in whatever is happening in the club to feel it's mine. And once they feel it's mine, they feel good. And once they feel good, we know doing good comes along with it thereafter. So to put this entire thought process together, when does Rotary Foundation become a force for good? One, people buy in. People feel it's my foundation. People feel it's my organization. People feel I'm one of the owners of this. Second, because of this sense of ownership, they start feeling good. And third comes doing good. Now, when every single member starts doing good, that one act multiplied by 1.2 million makes it a force to do good. When we say, as I said earlier about the polio project, when did it become a mass movement? When everybody felt good, everybody felt that they were playing a role. Most of you who have been long enough at Rotary would probably remember those NID days when everybody put on that yellow jacket, went around early in the morning, putting those 2 drops on those kids' mouths. So there was a sense of ownership. It was not Rotary International was conducting a camp. It was we were conducting a camp. I am giving those drops. It's not about Rotary International. It's not a district governor. It's not a zone. It's not a director. Nobody. It's me giving those 2 drops. That's when polio became a success story. That's when we were able to make an impact, make a difference. So is the case with several projects around the world in different countries. Different success stories are there. Maybe the malaria eradication in Zambia, or the cervical cancer in Egypt, or the farmers' story in India. I mean, several stories we can talk about. Each of these stories tell us that once people believe they are owners, they start feeling good and they start doing good thereafter. So when the thought is good, resources will flow. All of us know that when Rotary decided to eradicate polio, you know the amount of money they thought they would require. And finally, the amount they needed finally was about 100 times that. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the amount that is required. If the thought is good, you feel good, and you want to do good, resources will follow because several people along good, thinking good about something, wanting to do good, becomes a force. Once it becomes a force, all the other things will be attracted towards it. Once it becomes a huge wave, the resources will follow, manpower will follow. When all that happens, the outcome will be good. And when the outcome is good, the impact will be good. So when our President-elect Inca says create lasting impact, this is what it means. So lasting impact happens when every single Rotarian at every corner of the globe in one Rotary club, he starts feeling good. That multiplies. Then few others feel good. Then that becomes finally 1.2 million people feeling good. They start doing good. When that one act becomes a force, it becomes a tsunami. Then a lot more things follow. The resources follow. The manpower follows. The impact follows, and we do lasting impact. So to sum up, Rotary Foundation does good, but it's a force to do good when everybody is in sync along the same lines and becomes a multiplying factor for all of us to see the benefits of the Rotary Foundation. So this is this is what I wanted to share. So when we go back to our respective clubs, I tell my club president, I said, forget doing good now. He got very annoyed with me. He said, Venki, you are the incoming trustee of the Rotary Foundation, and the motto of TRF is do good. So you are saying forget doing good. I said, no, no, no. I'm saying you forget about people doing good. You make them feel good first. Then they'll tell you how to do good. Instead of you telling them how to do something good. I kept telling my president, let everybody feel good about their membership. Then you sit back and relax and watch the fun. Everybody will want to do good. And everybody wants to do good, we become a force. So thank you once again for the opportunity. I'm open to any questions if any of you have. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Venki sir, for that wonderful talk. Sometimes we just keep doing what has been asked, but to think about something, to feel about something, and to act on it is something which is needed by everybody in this organization. And you indeed made us feel good with your talk that we are a part of a organization who's doing such good in the communities and in the world at large. Over to you, Vijay, for question answers, if there are any.
Yeah. Thank you, Kailash. Thank you, Venki sir, for a wonderful talk. It has really inspired us and enlightened us how the TRF is a force for good. Friends, we are opening the session for a question and answer. If anybody has to speak, please raise your hand. I will unmute you so that you can ask your question or give your comment, please. So whosoever has anything, kindly raise your hand. Yeah, Adonis, you can.
Yeah, thank you, Pastor ID Venki. My question is, can you describe in a nutshell what's the role of a trustee of the Rotary Foundation, both in terms of representing and working on the Board of Trustees? Your microphone, PRID, your microphone is off. Yeah.
Thank you for asking this question, Adonis. I appreciate this question. As I see it, the trustees are the policy-making body of our organization and the custodian of the money you have deposited into the Rotary Foundation. So the best usage for it with promoting strong stewardship and to create policies that enhances the work of Rotary Foundation. How do we make the money go a longer distance? How do we equitably distribute the benefits of Rotary Foundation? How do we impact regions that need help from others? So within the 7 areas of focus, the trustee is a custodian of the Rotary Foundation, representing each one of you to make sure that we do what our members would want us to do. That's one way.
Thank you, PRID and incoming trustee. Thank you.
Yes, Patrick.
Thank you, Venki. The interesting facts. I love trivia. Now I'm going to go check out my toothpaste. The fact that we have been able to participate in the polio vaccine years ago, when we had the first NIDs in Zambia, I had an opportunity to go out and put drops in babies' mouths. Then I was in charge of preparing, because I cook, I was in charge of preparing the lunches for all of the volunteers at over 90 vaccination points. Each of them had 3 volunteers, so it was a massive task. But it made me a Rotarian. I wasn't a club member. I'm now a Rotarian. And of course, a part of that is that there was another Rotarian that I brought into Rotary who was working in the same project, and she was making ice cream after the event. So I would go to her house for ice cream, and then I married her 2 years later. So it's, you know, the whole thing about getting involved and participating. This is incredible. Now I'm the RLI coordinator for our district. And I've been doing it now for a couple of years, and I'm going to use these stories in RLI because people need to know how to become a Rotarian. Everybody wants people to join Rotary. Well, we can have all kinds of people in the room. We can have, as they say, we can have butts in the seat. But if we don't have Rotarians, we just have club members, then we just have butts in the seat. So thank you for making it clear that the way for us to become Rotarians is to actually do something. Putting the chemicals in the toothpaste. I am going to go check my toothpaste after this meeting. I'm telling you, I'm going to go check and find out why it's burning my mouth. So now I know. But, and by the way, because I'm a cook, I remember the Betty Crocker cookbook or cake mix where you added water. It didn't seem real to me. So I was adding eggs anyway and adding other things to make the cake my cake. Well, now I found out that you have to add the egg because they took the powdered egg out, and powdered eggs are not real eggs. They've never seen a chicken. So I think it's important that we share these kinds of stories so people can understand if you really want to be a Rotarian, you have to do something. Going to meetings doesn't make you a Rotarian. It makes you an attendee. I'm really glad that you're not only as a past treasurer, now you're a trustee with my several good friends who are trustees from all across the world, because the foundation to me is paramount. If it wasn't for the foundation, I would not be a Rotarian. And now I know I've got to put eggs in the cake mix. I've got to put something that burns in the toothpaste, and I've got to get my Rotarians doing something. So tonight we're talking about in our RLI, in just a couple of hours, actually, we're going to be talking about strategic planning. Now I know that I've got to get my RLI participants as a part of their strategic plan, get people involved. Have them put the egg in the cake mix. What a great story. Thank you, Venki.
Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate your comments.
Thank you. Vipul bhai, please. Anilji, I'll come to you.
Good evening, everybody. Past RI Director Venki sir, I only want you to please highlight a little bit about CSR to our Rotary friends, in particularly country like India, where we can use them in a right direction for the projects, and as well as promote CSR in each and every district. Reason is CSR is one very good avenue which Rotary can encash in our own country for very good major big projects in an easy way. But it has not been highlighted very well, or doesn't basically work very well nowadays. It still works, but it doesn't work on that very high field, the way polio has been eradicated from the world. Similarly, we can basically use this particular CSR funds in a much better way. So I want you to please highlight upon this, how we can use it in a right direction in all the districts to penetrate to many industries which are there in all across India.
Thank you, Vipul bhai, for this nice question. Just to put things in perspective, Indian government has mandated corporates beyond a certain level that they should spend 2% of their profits on socially responsible projects. That is the background to this. Corporate social responsibility, it's a mandatory requirement by the Indian government for most of the corporates beyond a certain scale. Okay, having said that, right now it's an India-specific project. Right now it's not the Rotary Foundation's global scheme. It's an India-specific scheme because it is relevant in India, and we are now looking at Brazil as the next country where, because there again there's a huge government thrust on the socially responsible projects. So right now it's India-specific project. So most of it relates to India. And it is administered by our South Asia office based in Delhi rather than Evanston for most part. Okay, now it's a very good suggestion that we should leverage this across districts, because the amount, well, I'm not able to recall the exact number, but total amount lying with corporates in India it runs to, I think, like $1 billion plus, or multiple billion. I don't recall the exact number now. I mean, it's of that magnitude that's lying with the corporates in India, which has got to be spent. It's not like they may want to spend; they got to spend it within a 3-year period. So it's a big opportunity for Rotary clubs because we really complement what they're looking for. These corporates have the money; they don't have the manpower to do. We have the manpower, we have the legs, we have the team, we have the people. So it's a great opportunity for us to join hands with corporates to make that dollar go a long mile compared to what it would have done otherwise. So what is required? We are conducting webinars across districts from Rotary Foundation, South Asia, Rotary Foundation India. We are conducting several webinars, almost once in 2 months. We are conducting webinars to educate people about how they can go about it. In addition, we have also got a team of 4 paid employees in 4 parts of the country. Bangalore, Delhi, Bombay, and Hyderabad. 4 people are stationed. So if a Rotarian gives a lead about which corporate may be interested in joining, so we put this person to go and market the Rotary Foundation's capabilities to that corporate so that they can join hands. So it is gaining momentum. In between, we had a little bit of a, I won't call a setback, a little bit of a speed breaker a few months ago when the government stipulated that any club that does a CSR project should be registered under the CSR 1 as per the act of the government, which meant it's got to be a charitable trust, it's got to have certain, it has to, I mean, I don't want to get into those details, but many clubs did not have the CSR 1 and they need 3 years of being in existence and submitting data to be eligible to get the CSR 1 approval. So there was a little bit of a setback to it a few months ago. Now we have overcome that by asking those clubs which do not have CSR to join hands with clubs which have a CSR 1. So to do a project jointly so that we don't miss out on the opportunity to do good. So we have overcome that position, which again led to another problem because we can have only 5 open CSR grants. But if a club which has got a CSR 1 registration has got to take on the projects of another club, they may exceed the 5 numbers of open grants. That became the next problem. So we got a special permission from the trustees that they can go up to 10 open grants on CSR now. So we are, it's a, let's say, the CSR grants, in my opinion, is an evolving story with a huge potential for the future. We are, at this point in time, we are learning a lot as we go along and making sure that we have an airtight system in place, which creates stewardship as well, because the name and the reputation of our organization is also at stake with the corporate. So we need to ensure that our stewardship is of the highest order. So what I would say is, as we go along, we will make CSR as one of the big part of our Rotary Foundation, which also everything points to that. Thank you for raising this matter. Thank you.
Thank you. Before going to Anilji, I would just like to read a couple of comments which have come on the chat. Devdar sir, Vinayak Devdar sir from Nasik, he says, ownership, yes, if new members feel that it's their club and not that they are members of some club, things will go smooth thereafter. And then PAG Nana from Accra, she is writing that the feeling good part about membership is very important and needs to be emphasized since it's that which actually keeps people hooked. People need to feel relevant and valued to want to continue to invest their time, energy, and other sources. So now, Anilji, you can ask your question, please.
Sir, good evening and good evening to everybody. I am Anil Singh from Rotary Club Ahmedabad North, District 3055. Sir, it is wonderful to hear you so closely. I have attended many of your meetings, seminars. I have met you personally also. And just to, since CSR things were opened by DGND Vipul Patel, sir, in last 2 years, I did 5 CSR. This year, I did 3. Sir, just one question. Could you guide us on how we can confidently communicate the transparency and utilization of foundation funds to the prospective donors?
Okay. One is our financial data is an open book. any member of the public can actually look at our financial data. We have, and it's audited by the top three auditing firms globally. That is number one. It's very transparent. It's open for anybody to see, anybody to ask questions, whatever. It's a public document. Submitted, of course, American authority, because that's where we are headquartered. Rotary Foundation India is headquartered in Delhi, and we submit our papers to the Indian government for income tax, etc. We do that. Number two, an independent organization which rates NGOs, charitable organizations, rated as 4-star across. And don't think there are 5 stars. We got 4 out of 5. 4 is the highest anybody can get there. So we have been rated 4-star for almost 17 years in a row now. That's again a proof of how transparent and accountable we are. And thirdly, we keep evaluating our stewardship policies continuously to make sure that we are in with the current trends, and we are making sure that the donor feels happy about contributing this, that his money is being well taken care of and well spent. So it's being repeatedly done. A lot of training efforts are going on all over the world in Rotary to ensure that we carry out this mandate with all sincerity, intent, and purpose. So many things are going on, and if there's any complaint about Rotary Foundation is taken very seriously. I mean, maybe some other countries may not be taken so seriously in Rotary, but there are 2 things that are taken very seriously. One is a complaint on anything about funds in Rotary Foundation, and second thing is, of course, POSH, any sexual harassment. These are 2 things which are not even delayed by 1 day. Any actions taken immediately.
Thank you. PP Santosh.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Santosh Nambudre from Rotary Club of Mumbai City, representing 3142 district. I'm part of the TRF team. So it was a very inquisitive thing which I had to ask about CSR since the discussion was on. And we've seen that the CSR contribution was mainly highlighted. Why? Because we need that additional money which is coming in. And companies also, the organizations, they use the route Rotary, since they have their own commitments and they're very clear that Rotary Foundation and Rotary does a good work for the society. So, but somewhere we feel that, okay, annual fund is one thing which is very important for us. But do you feel, sir, that annual fund contributions get affected because of the CSR funding? So ideally, CSR should be on top of or additional to annual fund. But somewhere I have seen that on the ground level that annual fund gets affected, but yes, the CSR fund comes in. Just a question, sir, how to handle this type of situation if it comes in?
Santosh, you asked a very pertinent question. There's a little bit of, I differ with you on a couple of things. One, the money that comes from corporates through CSR grants would never have come to Rotary Foundation, leave alone APF. They would have spent it otherwise, because those are mandatory requirements based on government regulations that they have to spend on socially responsible projects. So because it became a mandate, they had to do it, and it would never have come to APF otherwise. Okay. However, your point about declining APF contribution is a matter of concern. I agree with you totally. In fact, as a trustee, whichever district I go, I promote APF first, and I talk about everything else later. But the cause is not CSR. If you analyze properly over the years, the data over the last, I've analyzed the last 2012, that 14 years data I've analyzed. Ever since the global grant, 2013, I think, ever since global grants came into picture, from matching grants when it became global grants. And I've analyzed the data, and what has actually impacted the contribution to annual program fund APF is not CSR, but the directed gifts. The gifts where you contribute to the Rotary Foundation specifically for a project that you are involved in, which does not add to the APF. So 3 years later, the DDF will not come based on that. These amounts won't be calculated for DDF calculations as well. So what has really impacted APF contributions over the years is the introduction of the directed gifts for projects. So people wait with their money, get the project get numbered, and then contribute to the project. So CSR was never a part of these schemes. So we thought without the CSR would go where it has to go, and that's it. But the directed gifts is where we are hit a little bit on annual program fund, but I'm sure it's a temporary thing. Over a period of time, people realize that Rotary Foundation does not print currency notes. It does not print dollar bills. If global grants have to be funded, it has got to come from the APF contributions. mean, Rotary Foundation, where it does not get money from anywhere else. We are not here in the business of printing currency notes. So people will realize, see, earlier it was a one-to-one matching, now it is reduced. As APF keeps reducing, the matching percentage will also come down. It's only logical. Where will TRF get the money from? So at some point in time, people will realize that we need to ensure our future by contributing to APF, and people like us are promoting it. I would urge each one of you to keep promoting APF as well, because that is what will keep the wheel moving. Directed gift CSRs are one-time activity, but APF is what will keep the wheels of Rotary moving. Thank you.
Thank you. Satish, you can speak.
Yeah, good evening to everyone, and at the outset, my thanks to Vijay and Kailash for inviting such a wonderful speaker and our lover. We always love to hear you, boss. The way you always bring the subject and probe them into the minds of listeners, because I have such a wonderful experience in my life. I was there, of course, for the last 30 years in Rotary, and keep on hearing when governors visit the clubs, keep on asking for TRF contribution. I was thinking why they're asking like this. This is the right way or wrong. When my turn came, before 1 or 2 years of my tenure, somewhere I hear from you that we need to tell the stories and explain what actually TRF is doing. We should not ask for money. We should not force anybody to contribute for then I started and I used that formula in my tenure because of you only, boss, and I really reached my target and did so good in that. And secondly, the main thing what I'm expecting, it's a sure you will definitely create a benchmark in your tenure as a trustee. And what would be your signature project or area that you are going to keep? Like Bharat Pandya was keep on saying about communicable diseases and disease prevention, all this. And that area he was usually emphasizing more. And what would be your part of an area which you are going to create some special benchmark in the history of Rotary Foundation, boss? Yeah.
Satish Garu, sorry to disappoint you. I don't see my role as giving a direction, a specific area. I don't see my role as that. Of course, I have my personal preferences. Personally, if you ask me, I'm very passionate about literacy. I'm very passionate about women empowerment, but that is as a personal choice. But as a trustee, my job is to make sure and encourage each one of you do better than what you would have otherwise done. Help you, suggest and assist you, maybe motivate you, whatever. So my job is not to bring my own flavor to it. That's not my job. I don't think I'm going to leave any legacy that way. I see my role as I said earlier, a custodian of all your money, and to be able to encourage you, inspire you, motivate you to do more than what you would have otherwise done. So there is nothing that I'm going to promote personally. That's not my job, and I will not be doing it.
Venki is always looks like and do like so simple and like this only we know you will do something by the time actually it comes up. Yeah, thank you very much. We learned something new today. We need to bring that sort of interest in the members in our Rotary Club. So that's so good. We learned something new today. Thank you very much, boss.
Thank you, Satish. Thank you, Venki. Venki sir, I would like to say here that it will be a pleasure working with you for the next 4 years as part of the audit committee of joint audit committee of RI and TRF. So it will be a pleasure working with you. I would now move ahead with the presentation of certificate. Faisal, if you are there, I would like you to present this certificate to Venki sir. Faisal, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah,
good evening, everyone. Thank you very much. It was our pleasure to host you to discuss such an engaging topic as the Rotary Foundation, and we can all agree that Rotary is a force for good, serving the community globally. And I have the privilege to present the Certificate of Appreciation to our guest speaker, who engaged all of us in this very important topic. And And please attend our future sessions as a guest. You're always welcome. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
This we will be sending it to you by email. I will send it through. I will be personally sending it to you by email after this meeting. And before we end, I would request our Sergeant at Arms Adonis to please present the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you, Trustee-elect and past RID Venki, for giving us the honor, for appreciating our fellowship and its usefulness to Rotary. We were really touched by those kind words, and for giving us a very simple presentation and motivating presentation on what the Rotary Foundation can do, and the fact that we have to feel good, make others feel good before doing good. And that's the first step in doing good. And we are very happy. We acknowledge all our guests. We're members of the fellowship and people who have joined us. Of course, we have our own very good PDG Kailash was with us, PG Patrick Coleman, and we have a future governor, Vipul, and all our good friend past leadership of the fellowship, and of course, our own good Faisal Juma from Bahrain. We have been a very good audience because we're very having to have a very good speaker. And on behalf of the chairman, Vijay Kewaramani, we are hoping that you have us with you very soon again, and we'll have you with us again, continuing to feel good, to do good. And I thank all of us for connecting from different parts of the world, from Nigeria, from Benin, from Ghana, from different districts in Africa, in Asia, in America. We are very happy. We wish you a very good 4-year term as a trustee of the Rotary Foundation. And why not? Why not having be the next Sheikh Beta in a couple of years? All the best, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Before we end, I would just like to request everybody once again, if you are not a member of Rotary, please join by registering on www.rotifellowship.org. I have put it on the chat. It is totally free. Please join and get connected to members from over 105 countries. And with this, I would like to end the meeting. Thank you. But I would like to thank my good friend Kailash for having arranged Venki sir for us. And I am sure as a program committee chair, he will be doing more in the future. Our next speaker series will be on 12th of May. So kindly take a note, and we'll be making detailed announcements later. Thank you. I would like to adjourn this meeting with this. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.